Today's video is going to consist of a product that we previously reviewed. It's the Nuwave Pic Induction Cooktop. And what we're going to see here is how long it will take for cold water, to boil at 490 degrees in a 10-quart pot. Let the timer begin. And of course, as I mentioned, this is a product that we previously reviewed from the Nuwave company. They have different sizes of their Nuwave Pic Flex series. And for it to work, you need a pot that's big enough not only to take up the circumference of the cooktop, but you also need a surface that is specially in tune with this cooktop. Here we go. So far it's been a minute. And usually you're not going to use this much water when preparing something that you usually are going to prepare, but in case you were curious how strong this product is, the power of this induction cooktop, we're going to see how long it takes for cold water to boil in a 10-quart pot. We should take bets. And it's something that you might be curious about in case you are going to make a stew, in case you're going to make a soup, or who knows, maybe you're just boiling waters to soak your feet after working a long week. But it should be interesting comparing this to how long it usually takes on a gas range and how long it takes on an electric range. Here we are with the Nuwave Pic Induction Cooktop at 490 degrees Fahrenheit. How long will it take for 10 quarts of water to boil in this pot? And I'm already seeing signs of bubbling at the top, and it's been a little less than 3 minutes. And also, let's add one of the controls in this is that it is not covered. There's not a lid on top of this 10-quart pot. It's an aluminum pot. It's not stainless steel, in case you were wondering. But it's going steady at 490 degrees. Let me see. The sides feel cool, but at the top, you can feel that the water indeed is getting warm. So there's some oxygen being lost. And so far, it's been a little over 3 minutes and a half since we've started this experiment. Now, let's say you have visitors coming over and you just need to boil 10 quarts of water, which most likely you won't need to do. This will show you how long exactly this will take to happen. Technology at its finest. This is almost at full power at 490 degrees. I believe they have one level above this that is called sear. I believe that's the most powerful level in this Nuwave Pic Flex cooktop. And of course, they warn you to keep your hands off the cooking surface even after you finish cooking, because even after you take the pot off, the surface will remain hot even after cooking. So you see the bubbles going there. I'm not sure if you can see it from your end, but being here live, I can see how long it will take. Just about to cross over the 5-minute mark. And yeah, you see it. Let me see. Definitely feel the warmth. Most likely it would already be boiling if it was covered, but I wanted to see how it would look if it was not covered. Having it covered will trap the heat inside the pot and will make it boil faster. But I just want to see what you'll do. Maybe you have family coming over, grandma coming over, parents coming over. You're late for class, but you still want to eat. You want to make a traditional meal. Let's see. By the way, this Nuwave Pic Flex cooktop can retail anywhere from $60 to about $80, depending on where you purchase it. And this is just a generic aluminum 10-quart pot that you can buy at your supermarket, at your local Piggly Wiggly, Giant, Fresh Grocer, Pathmark, Associated, Seatown, wherever you decide to buy your groceries. Just in a regular aluminum cook 10-quart pot that if you leave in the fire too long, it will get burned because it is aluminum. So be aware of that. Yeah, I should have taken bets. So, and again, the Nuwave Pic Flex cooktop is also programmable. You can set it to time. You can set it by watt. You have your automatic modes on low, medium, high, and then max power and sear. On the right side of this contraption, you will see the start button that will enable you to produce power to the cookware once you are ready to start. And to the left, you have a pause and clear button. Pressing it once will pause the heat. Pressing it again will clear the settings. Let's say you want to go to the bathroom and you don't want to leave anything burning, or you need to step out, you don't want to leave anything cooking. You just press it once and it will pause. Press it again and it will clear. So just over 7 minutes and a half, making it to the 8-minute mark. And if you are in the market for a fast boiling product, a fast boiling cook top, this might be it. They have a bigger version of this. They have one that retails for over $200, I believe, maybe $300. But this one may serve your needs just fine. And if you just wanted the water a little warm and you don't want it boiling yet before you add your products to make a soup or a stew, it might be ready already. Because you can see it's already warm at this point. Is it warm enough to throw on somebody and hurt them? Probably not. But again, this is 10 quarts of water, and when we started this process, it was cold. This was 10 quarts. This was 10 quarts of cold water. And of course, if you're cooking professionally and you don't want to get fired, you want to cover this, especially if you're in a hurry, so that you won't lose any time cooking. Again, this is an open pot demonstration, experimentation, to see how fast you can remove oxygen from water and make it boil. See, let's make the little clear. Okay. Look at this. This may also serve as some sort of ASMR for some people that want to watch water boil for a long period of time or just hear the sounds that comes with water boiling. So now you see more rapid bubbles within the water. Let's see. Yeah. Some people will say, I can't cook, I can't even boil water. Well, now you can. At 490 degrees, you can tell them, I can just leave water boiling in a 10-quart pot, and you could even watch it as it boils. As a viewer, you can say I sat through water being boiled because I had something better to do. Look at this. And of course, the Nuwave Pic Induction Cooktop has a fan right under it, as you can imagine. With so much power being produced, you need for this machine to be kept cool, even though it's producing a lot of heat to keep the circuits from frying themselves. There's a life lesson there somewhere. Sometimes you have to keep yourself from being burned out from so much pressure and tension that will all rise to the top. So we're almost at 12 minutes of 10 quarts. So you have to keep in mind this was 10 quarts of cold water. If I would have added warm water, we probably would have had this boiling at the 6-minute mark, I'm assuming. Or even hot water, we would have been boiling at the 6-minute mark. But from cold to, I would say, reasonably hot water right now, it's already bubbling, and it's 12 minutes and a half since we've started. And I would say this would go perfect. You know what would go perfect with a Nuwave Pic cooktop? More than one? Two of them. Two of them. Because with two, you can boil water on one side, and then on the other side, you can start frying vegetables, start spicing up the vegetables, you can start sauteing them while the water boils. And it's a much easier cleanup, and don't get me wrong, you're still gonna have to do some cleanup afterwards, because as you may see, I don't know if you see, but there's some signs on the product, even though I wiped it down before I used it, of splashing going on from the product. So you always want to use a clean cooktop while you're cooking. But yes, just like a regular electric or gas range, you're going to get a lot of splashing because you are cooking. So the grease is going to start jumping, and you will have to move it about. You might have to clean up afterwards, not only around the cooktop, but the surface under the cooktop and even behind the wall of your kitchen or wherever you use it. Could be the floor if you do it in the bedroom. And of course, since this is portable, this is a portable cooktop, you can take it with you to work, you can take it with you camping. If you have a generator, you might want to connect it to that. If you have any other source of power that you can connect AC power to, you can use this to cook while you're away. You don't have to rely on going to the supermarket. You don't have to rely on going to restaurants. If you really want to kind of camp, but not really go 100% when it comes to camping, maybe 80%, and you want to use an induction oven and not raw fire coming from logs and sticks that you've gathered, this might just do it. You can take your Nuwave Pic Flex induction oven, and you can start cooking right out of the back of your truck or car or sports car. You might even have an extension cord and burn the whole place down. No. You can cook right outside of your tent if you have a generator. These are all things that are possible with a portable cooktop. And just make sure if you're going camping with this that you bring the cookware that works with this. Again, there's some pots and pans that do not work with this. And that's all specified in the instruction manual for your Nuwave Pic Flex cooktop. And if it has the induction seal, if the cookware has the induction seal already on it, then it means that it's compatible with the Nuwave Pic Flex cooktop. If it doesn't, then you might be taking a chance. But usually, just look for the signs. It usually has like 3 little waves, which means it's ready-made for use with an induction cooktop. And there you see, we're approaching 17 minutes. And thanks for watching Water Boiling on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. You might just want to stand over it and let the mist hit you in the face. And those of you with some kind of skin issues or eczema or some sort of dermatitis or psoriasis, or just breathing problems, you just might want to stand over it and let the vapors go into your nostrils and open them up for you. So there are many uses for this, as you can imagine. There it is. See the bubbles going as you've seen them for a long time. It's, again, when you're coming from cold water to just heating it up, even though 490 degrees Fahrenheit is a big temperature, you have to consider this was cold water. This was filled just using cold water. I'm placing my hand over it. I can tell right now it's very hot. It just moments now before it completely starts boiling. And of course, if you're making noodles, you would already have dropped the noodles in here by now. The water is that hot. And I dipped my pinky finger in there and it was very hot. And of course, if I was cooking, I would not dip my finger in there, but for the purposes of this experimentation, yes, I will sacrifice the cleanliness of the water with the cleanliness of my pinky finger, but it's not the regular modus operandi. So right now it's very, very hot. It will probably melt a childhood action figure. If it was a frog, it would probably be boiling, but it wouldn't move somewhere at the bottom of this pot. We won't try this time. There go your bubbles. And you could actually see a pretty steady mist rising from it now. That's what we like to see. That means it's working. So again, if you're gonna make a cup of tea, boil a little bit of water for coffee, you don't need this much water, but I just wanted to max it out to test the full range of the Nuwave Pic Flex induction cooktop. For those concerned, for those who want to know its natural power, and just to see if it can just stay hot for a very long period of time. If you grew up on the coiled You know, the glowing hot metal portable cooktops that probably your grandfather or your grandmother knew. You knew that by then, and when you set it on high, this would already be maxed out. And it takes a few pauses, and then it heats up again, it'll pause again, it'll heat up again, but not with this one. Now, of course, there's a give and take, right? So on the bottom of this, you'll see all kinds of warning stickers on it that by law, they need to tell you. California law tells you that this product may cause cancer. And also, do not place this product on top of an electric or gas range for safety reasons and for safety issues. And that's something that you didn't have to worry about with the old cooktops. So there's a give and take in this. For expediency, you will sacrifice perhaps some other risks. It would probably be best advisable to also not stand so close to it. I would say it's probably similar to not wanting to stand so close to a router or perhaps a microwave while it's being used or while it's powered on. But some of it is common sense. Some people notice and they will assume the risk, and some people just don't use it very often, or some people just stand far away from it when they're using it. But just know they also recommend that you don't place your cell phone near it while it's being used. So just keep that in mind. I believe that when you have a product, you should learn all the good stuff about a product, but also learn about the things that are not good about a product. Full transparency. The consumer must be informed. So in case you are worried about those things, this is not the product for you. And the best consumer is an informed consumer. That's our motto. You know what you're getting. So, time check, 22 minutes and 30 seconds. And now you hear the sound, you know, the sound right before the water begins to boil. That's where we're at right now. We're at that point. So any moment now, you're going to see a whole bunch of bubbles overtake the majority of the water in the pot. And we're here for that live. If someone asks you, what did you do yesterday? You could say, well, I was watching water boil. That's what I did. What did you do? And you can hear it. It's searing at the bottom, and slowly it will make its way to the top. You can imagine how hot it is at the bottom of this 490 degrees Fahrenheit. At the height of its power at the bottom, it's pushing its way up to an uncovered surface that will create a massive boil, and bubbles will be everywhere. Live action, live entertainment brought to you by this blue aluminum pot and the Nuwave Pic Induction Cooktop. Oh, saw a bigger bubble there. It's going to happen any minute. And if the sound is not coming through in this video for the searing of the water, it's because the fan, the bottom of this cooktop, is also blowing hard at the same time. So it might be muting the sound a bit. As we approach 25 minutes. And of course, when you're using a product like this, even though it's a lot safer looking than the heated coils that your grandparents grew up on, I wouldn't leave this alone. Especially without a timer. even with the timer, I wouldn't leave this alone, especially since it has a pause button there. People would say, maybe some people would say it has no fire, it has no open flame, so I don't need to watch it. Well, it's usually when we assume that something easy doesn't require our attention, it's usually when we lose a lot more than we bargained for. So keep an eye on this, even when it's electric, even when you believe it's safe, even if it's clear of anything that can catch fire. Just I wouldn't trust it. And if you can keep an eye on it, if you can afford to just pause it for a second, then why not do it? This message has been brought to you by the Safety Commission of Open Fires and Cookwares. Coming soon to a theater near you. And now I believe you can hear the water getting ready to boil. Wow, this has been a play-by-play on water boiling to maximum effect. So if you think that you are not capable of conversation starters, you are gravely mistaken. As you see, you can make conversation about anything. And here we have a purpose, the purpose of informing the general public. What a great purpose to be a part of. What would be more interesting than this, or as interesting as this, would be trying to see how long it takes for water to boil while it's covered. So I'll find the lid, and right after this experiment, we'll do one with 10 quarts of water in a pot covered. And what I'll do to make it plain and make it fair, I'll cool down this 10 quart pot with cold water so it can be stable right before we start again. And I'm assuming that the water can be boiling soon, but what's the old adage? Water does not boil while you're looking. There's a life lesson there somewhere. While you're looking, water will not boil. Because you expect something to happen doesn't mean that it's going to happen when you expect it to happen, but it will happen. We know it will happen. Keep the faith. Bon Jovi. Sometime in the 80s. So what have we learned? Even when it looks like it's going to boil, it's not. It just has a steady, constant heat at 490 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't get it mistaken. This water is very hot. This is extremely hot. If this pot of water were to fall on me or someone near me, this would peel off their skin, because for a great period of time now, a long period of time, it's been sitting here at 490 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a long, long time. And that's very hot water right now. Don't get it mistaken. You should not even try to dip your pinky finger in there to see if it's hot. Just believe the noise, believe the steam, believe the bubbles that you keep seeing every so often. And as you see those bubbles that you were seeing before of oxygen, you're not seeing them anymore. You see them periodically, but most of the oxygen is already out of this water. And the only thing left for it to do is to bubble uncontrollably. And that's what we are waiting for. We are waiting for Godot. Waiting for what? For Godot. And thank you for joining me here during this telecast of watching water boil. And the temperature in the room right now, it's very hot, as you can imagine, because the steam is giving off heat. And this room that normally stays at 75 degrees, I would say, yep, right now it's at about 78, 79 because of the water that is being heated right in front of us. So it's acting as a heater for the room. How about that? And for those of you who have never seen water boil before, this has been a treat for you. This has been something that perhaps you read about in textbooks or in multiple choice quizzes, math and science. How long does it take for water to boil? And you have several selections. Now you can tell them, well, if the water's completely cold and it starts at 10 quarts, this is exactly how long it takes. And as you see, this started with a full pot, and some of the water has evaporated into the atmosphere here around us. So now it's a little bit less, not a whole bunch less, but there's room at the top that wasn't visible before. So yes, this water is, let me see. Oh yeah, you can feel the heat right there. Yep. Let me see the surface. And believe it or not, the surface, immediate surface around the cooktop, this is not hot at all. So that's one safety mechanism that this device has that is definitely a plus. Another one that this device has, another safety measure that this device has, is that once you pick up the cookware, it will give you an error message. It recognizes that there's nothing making contact with the cooktop. So it begins cooling down until you place cookware on top of it. It won't just keep producing heat at will. It needs to be, there needs to be some cookware on top of it for it to continue. And as you see now, the boiling has entered the conversation. There it is. At 32 minutes since we've started this broadcast, there it is. What we've been waiting for. Christmas has come early. Groundhog has appeared. Just a few more weeks of winter. There it is. The water is boiling. It's a beautiful thing to see. If you have any questions or comments, and if you made it to the end of this video, please like, share, tell your friends, tell a few of your enemies, like it, dislike it, comment on it. The engagement helps, everything helps. It might even help to boil water, especially if you want to see another part to this video. Covered 10 quarts of water on the Nuwave Pic Flex induction cooktop. Thank you. Enjoy your day.